worked this time like never before. I danced last night, like
So there was a lot of working and fun as well.
yeah.
Should we add actress to Daphne's name now?
Not yet.
Why? I mean, you are in The Fisherman's Diary.
Yeah,
How was
yeah.
that experience?
Well, it was amazing. It was amazing for me. I've always loved acting.
Really?
Yeah, I've always loved it. Um, I was kind of I had, let me say, I had some self-esteem issues when it came to acting, because I always felt like my talking voice is too childish for the movies. If I had to talk, if I had to act, then I would just sound so childish. But it was, I think I want to do it again.
Yes, because thinking, first of all, that your voice was a little bit childish, to you now being Mr. Ramsey Noah's character's wife in the movie, that was a big deal. How did you handle that experience?
Well, it was natural.
Yes.
The flow was easy. He's he's an easy person to deal with, and I am an open book somehow, if I can say that. So it was an easy connect, and I mean, already having other huge Cameroonian actors and actresses in the movie was already something for me. It was already like, okay, this is exciting, this is exciting.
Have to get it right.
Yeah, and then
Yes.
to have Ramsey Noah again as an addition was an amazing thing. Yeah.
So, how do you feel knowing the appreciation this movie is getting internationally and you're a part of it? What does that mean to you?
Well, it. It screams hope to me. It screams hope, like for a future where um, Cameroonian movies will be just as respected as any other movies from the bigger movie industries. So for me, it's a big step towards bigger things. It's a big step towards a better future for for the Cameroonian movie industry, even for the Cameroonian music industry. I mean, the content of the the Fisherman's Diary, like the soundtracks, the music behind the whole film, in combination with the acting and all of that, it just screams hope for me.
You just pointed something that I noticed as well in the movie. There was a mix of music from Cameroon and the filmmaking part, which is a partnership that we're hoping we can see a lot more of. So we're just going to step out of this, hoping that we'll see Daphne in more movies to come.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to do it again. Definitely.
Let's get to Daphne. When did you know that you had such a good singing voice? Who discovered it, or when did you discover it?
I've always known. I've always known. Yeah, when I was as young as 6, people always told me. Yeah, people always told me she can sing well. 8, I used to sing in the Sunday school choir. I've been choir leader and all of that. I've always known. Like, yeah, I've always known. Now even I'm feeling like I don't sing like I used to sing before.
yes.
Yeah, that happens, especially when you get into doing commercial music and you start focusing on songs that the people want, and songs that you can make a living out of, and all of that. Sometimes you get to lose that spice that you used to have sometime before you started singing. So yeah, but I've always known.
Yes, that freedom of I can sing anything.
Yeah,
You lose a little bit of that, but then you get a wider public, I would say, which is different from the past. Let's talk about how you got your first contract, music contract. How did it happen?
What happened was I was working with No Hits No Hits No Records. So they had to meet Steven's Music for some discussion, I don't know what, and they put in a couple of songs in a CD and played to Steven's Music. Mine was there by mistake.
By mistake?
Yeah, Mother's Love. So I was a part of the record label, No Hits No Records, but I wasn't an immediate project. I wasn't like a main project or an immediate project. So somehow my song just made it to the CD. And they were playing songs and playing songs and playing songs. And when Mother's Love played, Stevens was like, "Wait, who's that girl?" Stevens was like, "Who's that girl?" Said Daphne, "Can we see her? Can we talk to her?" I met them sometime later, and we signed the contract. So it it was a miracle for me,
Yes.
and it just came in the right time. So I always say music saved me, because it came in a time when I was so depressed. I felt useless for many reasons, and many things were not going the way I felt like they should go. And then, bam, that came for me, and
Like a glimmer of hope.
yeah.
But since you're here and you're open to discuss anything, what made you feel so miserable at that point in your life?
Well, many things, many things. I first of all had a heartbreak that I had not.
Oh, love. Okay.
that I had not recovered from fully. And apart from that, well, other things I might not like to talk about.
Yes.
And well, I put on my story some few months back, and things about that too that enable that didn't give me the freedom to do certain things, weighed me down a lot. And the fact that I wasn't seeing any progress in the things I was doing then too. Like, I was going to school, yes, but I felt so empty. I was like,
What were you studying?
I've studied so many things. I've studied women and gender studies. I went to that's the first course I went for in the University of Boya.
Yes.
Women and gender studies, sociology and anthropology. Even though I got to like it later, but I only got to do women and gender studies because I couldn't do what I want. I did not have enough points.
What is it that you wanted to do?
I wanted to do journalism.
Take this mic.
No.
You can take over now.
I wanted to do journalism.
Okay.
So I didn't have enough points. I think that at that time they were taking 9 points and I had 1 point down.
Ooh.
Yeah. So they were taking 9 or 10 and I had 8 points, so I couldn't get into it.
So
Yeah.
that kind of puts you in a spot of depression. You couldn't do what you wanted to do.
Yes, I couldn't do what I wanted to do. I also did psychology and minored in law. Sometime
Wow.
later.
Okay.
Don't wow yet.
Okay.
I did not finish. I didn't finish. Then I went when I started making some money. I decided that, okay, let me do something that is going to help me. If I'm an artist,
Yeah.
I want to do something that is going to help me manage who I want to be, what I want to own, what I want to do. So I enrolled myself into the Catholic University where I started doing management.
Okay.
So
All right. You put it together: anthropology, sociology, women's studies,
psychology, management.
and management. But you do know that all of those things tie together some way. I think you're interested in the human nature, human tendencies. When we
Yeah.
look closely at the things that interested you,
Yeah.
I think you had a little bit of that. Have you always been that way?
Yes, I think I'm that kind of person that was called for people. So there's nothing that I really want to do for my sake. I find myself always wanting to do things for other people's sake. Maybe my family or somebody that is not my family or so. But I think that I was born to be that person that takes care of people.
Yes.
Yeah, so I've always had that. Right from when I was like really young, I've always wanted to own an orphanage. Yeah, and I always told people I want to own that kind of orphanage where the children are like your children, so you will not have to have a lot of them. You just have to have a few which you can really take care of, and they will
Like
call
a
you
big
mommy.
family.
Yeah.
Wow. And I think that love for humanity translates to your music. Do you write all of your songs?
No, I don't. I don't write, especially my recent songs. In my first album, I wrote most of the songs, but the singles I've released after my album and my EP, I've received a lot of help from Salatel, Mr. Leo, CFX, and a few others. So yeah, so I co-write,
Yeah.
and then I also sing what was written by other people.
But then you opened up about a very personal side of your life last year. I know it's a heavy, heavy topic, but what made you feel like you wanted to share? It's not heavy anymore?
Not that heavy anymore.
Okay. But what made you choose to open up about it?
Freedom. There's times when you keep something in your heart, in your mind. You know, when somebody tells you a secret and tells you to keep it, you find yourself always wanting to say it. So that's a feeling I got. Like, I can't talk freely about certain things because I'm trying to hide a part of my history. I can't talk about have free conversations. There's always a part that will hide. I'll have to hide, and you'll feel like, okay, she's not being open, or she's pretending about something, or and then it keeps you locked up and all of that. And then two, I thought it was the right time. A lot of women were going through what I was going through. A lot of women are going through, and there's an increasing number in the rate of rape cases, sexual abuse, and all of that. And people don't really speak up about it because they're ashamed of people saying all sorts of things about you, people telling you you're lying. I had that when I wanted to come out. I was so sure that was going to happen to me. People were going to say I'm lying. People were going to... I even actually wanted to keep away the part where I had to talk about I've not been sexually active for this long, for almost 10 years. I wanted to keep out that part. Then I was like, why am I keeping it out? If I'm talking of the impacts, on the health impacts this has had on me, I should be able to talk about that. There are so many women that are suffering from this. So many women don't like sex because of things like this. But people just have the idea that why should a woman not like sex? Now lie. Now prostitute. Now lie. They lie. So with all of that, I thought that people had to speak up and receive help. And then on the thirdly, I had an NGO. I have a foundation. And I was like, if I cannot talk about this thing, why would I expect people to come and tell me about theirs? Why would I expect to help people that are talking about theirs when I haven't given them a reason to? So I wanted to give the girls a reason to come out. I came out, what happened? I'm breathing, I'm stronger, I'm happier. Take that part. People insult me, yes, but what have I achieved? I received help.
Definitely.
And I'm freer.
And you garnered a lot of support as well.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the glorious parts. Congratulations. Wow. How does it feel like being married? Do you feel different? Do you feel like you have to handle yourself differently?
No.
Okay.
No. If anything, okay, before I got married, like while I was growing up, there were so many things I couldn't do. I couldn't do piercings. I couldn't do my
Or tattoos.
tattoos, wear my chain for food as I want. I've always loved crazy things like that. My mom will always tell me, don't do those things. She was like, she gave me an embargo. And sorry, I grew up as a serious mommy's daughter. So
Okay, don't be sorry about that.
So it was so important to me. Pleasing my mom was so important to me. So she would tell me, no, don't do all those things. Wait, when you're married, if your husband likes them,
Oh.
if your husband likes them, then you can do them. And you can do that. I'm sorry about feminists. Feminists would think that this is so horrible.
Live your reality, girl. Yes.
But I mean, I'm a woman who believes in the Bible. And there are a lot of things about the Bible that encourages women to care about what their husbands think.
Okay.
For your sake and for theirs. Now that I'm married, on the contrary, I can do whatever I want, as long as
see that.
Yes, as long as my husband doesn't have a problem with it.
And he's fine with it, clearly.
Very clearly, he actually asked me to do the piercing on the nose. because he likes that one. Yeah, and I like it too.
Yes.
Yeah, so I like it too. Well, unfortunately, my skin can't support it, but I like it too. And anything he doesn't like, when I notice he doesn't like something, we talk about it. Is this something you can compromise me doing, or is this something you can't compromise at all? So, if we can't come to a common ground, fine. If it's something I can abandon, I can let go. I let go. Yeah.
Wow. Strong foundation of communication we can already see there.
And we have an awesome friendship. He was so big on that before we got married. Before we started
yeah.
dating, he was so big on friendship and building a foundation in Christ. He was so big on those two things.
He was big on that. But why him? Why did you choose him?
In my first instinct, I chose him because he didn't know who I was.
He didn't know who
The
you were?
very first day we met, he did not know who I was. I was kind of complex about meeting people because I felt like people always came with an agenda, and people might not be able to accept the real me. Like they see the girl on TV and they probably think that is Daphne. But what if you come to discover that Daphne is just this common, playful girl, this girl that just likes to be herself, just likes to throw things around when she wants, just likes to be, to cuddle, to be a baby. I'm very childish. So all of that. What if you come to discover that and you don't like that about me?
Yes.
So one attraction factor was that he did not know who I was when we met.
Yeah.
And then apart from that, I think I met my dream man.
Really?
Yes. So I met my dream man. Like
What were you
everything
looking for?
I wasn't looking. That's
I
the
mean,
funny
what
thing.
were the characteristics you were hoping to have?
I've always wanted a God-fearing man. Most importantly, I've always wanted a God-fearing man. Handsome, of course.
Of course.
Intelligent. I've always had a thing for intelligent men, for super smart men.
Yes.
So he was that, he was handsome, he was tall, like I always wanted, he was dark and, and all of I don't want to
Yes.
put in too much of that. So I
When
think
did he propose?
he proposed in 2019.
Okay.
Yeah, he proposed in 2019. We started dating. We started dating in 2019, early 2019. Yeah.
You started dating in 2019?
Yeah. Early 2019. We met in 2018.
Yes.
So we knew ourselves for 3 months before we started dating. Yeah, so later 2019 he proposed and we're here.
2020 it happened. Amazing. So congrats. But let's look at how you dealt with that period between you being in a relationship and you letting it out into the world and people creating stories about relationships that you're not even in at that point in time. How did you sail through it? Did you feel like you wanted to explain?
All the times. I still feel sometimes that I want to denounce some things I get, I see about myself. I still feel like that. It's that urge, especially when you grew up in a certain kind of environment where, in the way I was brought up, reputation was everything. Reputation was everything.
Yeah.
My mom always told me, it takes a long time to build a reputation,
True.
but it takes a second to kill it all.
Yes.
I mean, we all make mistakes. I've made my mistakes, but there are things you don't like to be identified with. It's not like every man, like Daphne is every man. And sometimes you feel like this is not even somebody I want to talk to on that kind of, yeah, on that
But you
kind
can't
of,
say that on the
yes,
open.
you cannot say that. At least people I work with are people I admire, are people I admire, I appreciate, I care about. But it's not everybody that you want to be talked about in that
Linked
light.
with, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then you succeeded to maintain your cool most of the time and not talk about it.
Yeah.
So kudos to you for that.
Thank you.
Daphne, I didn't know you could be so chatty. It's lovely.
I am.
Okay.
I am.
Because we could go on and on, but due to time, we have to wrap up. But I have to find this from you. Are you going to release any song coming soon? Because your fans are beckoning for that.
I'm going to release very soon a single first. Then I'm working on an album which has to come out sometime this year. Yeah, so I'm releasing a single I did in 2019.
Okay.
I actually recorded that single with drips on. Like, yeah. So I was recording in the studio. I'm going to I'll put that out before, yeah, before I release the song or after, slightly after. But it's an amazing song. I'm very sure people will like it.
Daphne, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And as we always say, whenever you're in Yaoundé, come back because I think we have a lot to talk about again.
Okay. Okay. Then we should keep the contact. I'll be honored. Thank you.
Back to the studio.